All right, let's jump right into the source material we're unpacking in today's explainer. We're looking at a totally fascinating concept that completely flips the script on how we actually achieve our goals. If you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by massive ambitions, or maybe just super frustrated when you don't see results immediately, well, this one is absolutely for you. We're diving into a framework called the 1% rule that changes your life. It's a ridiculously simple, yet profoundly effective way to approach personal growth, and it works by focusing strictly on the micro rather than the macro. So, I've got to start by asking you directly, do you want to know the actual secret behind successful people? I mean, it's the ultimate question we all ask, right? We look at folks at the absolute top of their game, and we just naturally assume they possess some kind of hidden knowledge. We wonder, what's their secret? What massive, monumental leaps did they take that the rest of us somehow totally missed? Well, the material we're looking at today completely shatters that whole illusion of overnight success. The profound truth drawn straight from our sources is this: successful people, they don't improve fast, they improve daily. We live in a world that basically conditions us to constantly hunt for shortcuts, life hacks, and these huge, immediate leaps forward. But the actual blueprint of success tells a much quieter, honestly far less flashy story. It is not about speed at all. It's all about everyday repetition. Section 1. The 1% rule. Okay, think about this incredibly small, totally manageable metric for a second: 1%. We are not talking about completely overhauling your entire life, totally changing your routine, or trying to magically be 50% better by tomorrow morning. Literally just 1%. It's a metric so tiny that the barrier to entry is basically eliminated. Absolutely anyone, no matter how insanely busy or exhausted you are, can find a way to improve by just one single percent. And here is where the compounding magic really happens. If you get just 1% better every single day, the math is completely undeniable. You don't just get 365% better. Thanks to compounding, you actually end up yearly 38 times better by the end of one single year. The transformation isn't sudden, obviously, but that relentless, tiny progress completely alters the trajectory of your life. Section 2. Small actions, big results. Let's actually walk through some exact super accessible micro habits right now just to prove how wonderfully low this barrier really is. Reading 5 pages, doing 10 push-ups, saving 100 rupees, waking up just 15 minutes earlier. Notice what these all have in common. Not a single one of these actions requires immense talent, crazy expensive equipment, or hours of free time. They literally just require the decision to actually do them. Now, in complete isolation, doing 10 push-ups today doesn't suddenly make you fit tomorrow. If you save 100 rupees today, you certainly aren't rich tomorrow. Honestly, the action feels almost completely useless in the moment. But let those actions compound over weeks and months, that exact same seemingly useless action transforms into an undeniable, incredibly powerful momentum over time. Section 3. Motivation versus consistency. This really hits the nail on the head regarding the ultimate reason most people fail. They chase motivation. They sit around and wait until they feel perfectly energized or perfectly inspired to finally act. But here's the thing. Motivation is a super fleeting emotion. The actual secret? Highly successful people completely ignore motivation and they relentlessly chase consistency. They show up to read those 5 pages or knock out those 10 push-ups whether they feel like it or not. Consistency is the actual engine here. Motivation is just a pleasant little byproduct when it happens to show up. We all kind of tend to wait around for that one big break, right? That singular, life-defining turning point. But the truth is so much more grounded than that. Your future is not built in one sudden jackpot moment. It's built brick by brick, in the mundane, completely ordinary, small daily habits and choices that form your eventual reality. Section 4. Embracing growth theory. Here is a quote straight from the material. Start today. Even tiny progress counts. Really, just let that sink in for a second. Seriously, don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for the first of the month or until you suddenly feel perfectly motivated to change your life. The absolute undeniable math of the 1% rule only actually works if you start the clock right now. Any progress, no matter how ridiculously small it might feel, is a step in the right direction. And that brings us to our conclusion and the formal definition of what our sources call growth theory. It's the paradigm that a transformed future is built entirely on the compounding power of small, consistent daily habits. It is not magic, and there's absolutely no shortcut. It's just the simple, undeniable power of consistency over time. So now that we've unpacked the incredible math behind the 1% rule, I really want to leave you with this final provocative question to chew on. What is the tiny 1% action you are going to choose to start right now, today?